All right, what is going on, everybody? Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being a part of the post-game show. Ugly one tonight. Ugly one tonight. Not too much, not too many positive things to talk about after tonight's ass kicking against the Chicago Bulls at home. What the hell happened tonight? My God, that was bad. Lakers lose to the Chicago Bulls 146 to 115. What? What did I watch tonight? What the hell happened tonight? Does anybody want to make sense of this game? Got a chance, was listening a little bit to Spectrum here before I came on. So it's Allie Clifton, it's James Worthy, and it's Derek Fisher. And just kind of listening to them talk about it, just to kind of get a little bit. I like some of the points James Worthy was making about that it was just a team that really just didn't kind of come in. You got a lot of new guys that came back. The excitement of LeBron and Rui Hachimura. Lakers are finally healthy. And, let's be honest with each other. Everybody, I think you just assume Lakers they're going to dominate the Chicago Bulls. You don't got to worry about Chicago. You got to start worrying about that road trip that's coming up. And nobody was really taking this game as serious as we should. And myself included. I didn't think this was going to be a game. I thought Lakers, okay, even in the first half is a little bit close. Chicago's playing well. Lakers are playing from behind the entire time. But come second half, Lakers are going to take control. They're down by 1 at the end of the first quarter. They're down by 3 by the time you get to halftime. And then you start saying to yourself, Lakers are going to kick this thing into gear come third quarter. They get outscored 39 to 27 in the third quarter. They give up 42 points in the fourth quarter. They gave up 32, 33, 39, and 42 in each one of these quarters to give up a season high 146 points. Just really, really bad basketball. And listen, I don't want to make it sound like the season is over. And, there might be some people on there say, Slee, you're overreacting. I'm just going to react to what I just watched. What I just watched was an ass kicking. All right. Sometimes I watch a game and the Lakers play really well and we come on here and we give them all the credit in the world. If you give up 146 points, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Look at the Chicago Bulls individually what some of these players did on the Lakers. By the way, as a team, just look at some of the team stats. They shot 58% from the field and 46% from the three-point line. My God, there wasn't a soul on that Lakers team that wanted to play some defense tonight. They had 41 assists. I don't know if I've seen offensive stats like this all season long, by the way. 17 steals. They forced 21 turnovers, 30 to 12 in fast break points, and points in the paint 74 to 42. Biggest lead for the Lakers, 4 in this game. Largest lead for the Chicago Bulls, 34 points. Wow. We'll get into everything. We'll get a chance to hear from JJ Redick. We'll obviously talk about Lakers finally getting healthy, what that means, the 4-game road trip coming up. We got a lot that we can hit on, so we'll hit on all of it. We're chilling tonight. If you guys don't mind, please subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 32,000 subscribers, just kind of inching along here. It really helps to get your subscription. It's very helpful to the show. Great for the channel's growth. Individual players for the Chicago Bulls. I don't know. You tell me who you guys want me to talk about. Matas Buzlis, which I do not pronounce his name right. He was the dude that was in the slam dunk contest. 31 points on the Lakers, 12 of 18 from the field. He was phenomenal. How many different times did you hear Stu Lance and Billy Mack on the broadcast saying, pretty good young player they got here. He was phenomenal. Okay, keep going down the list. Kobe White, 36 on the Lakers, 12 of 17 from the field. Look how efficient everybody was. Matas shot 66% from the field. Kobe White shot better than that. Kevin Huerter shot 50% from the field, 6 of 12, 14 points. Did you guys see Josh Giddey's line? 15 points, 17 assists, 10 rebounds, and 8 steals. This dude was 2 steals away from a quadruple double, which I don't think has happened since David Robinson. And I know Victor Wembanyama has kind of had some ridiculous stats. That was Josh Giddey's line. Everyone dominated. Everyone for the Chicago Bulls dominated. They had 7 dudes scoring double figures. Dalen Terry off the bench gave them 13. Patrick Williams gave them 14. Nikola Vucevic gave them 12 and 12. And that's one of their best players. And he was almost an afterthought tonight. Just a complete ass-kicking / domination for the Chicago Bulls. On the Lakers side of it, just to kind of point out, Luca had another, I think he had 29 by halftime, 34 for the game, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 turnovers. Austin Reaves gave you 25, and then nobody really else for the Lakers. Jackson Hayes, 10 points, 5 of 6 from the field. LeBron makes his debut after missing a handful of games. He had 17 points, but it took 16 shots to get there. He had 5 turnovers. Dorian Finney-Smith, nothing out of him. Rui Hachimura, 5 points in his return. Vando, nothing. I mean, just overall a really, really tough game to watch if you're a Laker fan. Not exactly what you were expecting in tonight's game. Yeah, this one threw me off a little bit. I got to be honest with everybody. I just kind of assumed Lakers would be okay tonight. And you get healthy. A lot of hype around the team. Really feeling good at the position they're in. I was doing my show yesterday, the Sliwa Show, and I spent a lot of time just talking about, hey, they're positioned perfectly here. Think about what was going on. Think about their situation and predicament. And then here you are, just when you had no idea, hey, how long is LeBron going to be out for? They lose 4 games in a row, all that stuff. It's like the water has calmed here. You kind of just handed one away to the Milwaukee Bucks on Thursday because you didn't play anybody. And then you come out against the Chicago Bulls, fully healthy, rested, and everything, and just not good basketball. No other way that I can put it. I'm seeing some of the highlights here as they're showing them on Spectrum while we're sitting here. But Chicago had their way, and there was no answer for the Lakers. And where they got a little bit of help in the past as far as the standings go, these last 2 games really hurt them. Losing to Milwaukee and now losing to Chicago. These are 2 games at home that, you were thinking, what's crazy? Remember I was telling you guys, you take a 2-2 week, but after they started the week out 2-0, you thought, hey, they're going to at minimum go 3-1. Here we are sitting here, and that's exactly what ended up happening. They go 2-2. I wasn't looking for 2-2. If you start 2-0 and you got LeBron and you got Rui and you got everybody else coming back, that definitely was not the plan. All right, I'm going to get to your guys' comments in just a second here, but let's take a listen. JJ's giving his thoughts on the Lakers' loss.
Whatever it was, 44 points in the paint. Our turnovers killed us all night, which led to them getting shots in transition. Thought we did a poor job contesting. I mean, again, they were 5 for 22 at the half from 3, and I think they were 14 for, my math is not good right now, but 14 for 19 in the second half. And Buzelis hit a bunch of those, and, you're willing to live with a couple. And then we turned off some of the shift notices, and then the contests weren't great. You can certainly get into the technicality of it, and you can certainly get into, the turnovers for us offensively and how that kind of destroyed our rhythm. But the disposition and the mentality, I don't know if we assumed because we had everybody back that it was just going to be like it was 3 weeks ago, and that's just not the way this works. I think the guys know that, and I'm not saying that's what they assumed. You'll have to ask them that. The thing that we have talked about all season long, though, is grace, and so the group inherently gets some grace for what this last 3 weeks has looked like. And it's not an excuse. It's just the nature of where a group felt very connected, and then you lose some games on the road, you have some injuries, all that stuff. You got to get reconnected. And that's where our group will get there. We, however, don't have a lot of time to do that, and it's got to be now. It can't be in a week. It can't be in 2 weeks. It's got to be now. It's got to be Monday morning in our film session and our walkthrough for Orlando. So again, I give the group. I love my team. I love those guys. That was the worst our defense has looked, frankly, maybe all year, but certainly in the last 3 months.
To follow up on one of the things you said with LeBron and Ruby coming back, you think there can be a collective almost okay that this is going to be good now, this is going to be settled, and maybe you lose some of that, not the edge, but just that. Is that natural? Can you feel that once the game starts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the word that we've used a lot is edge, and you gotta play with an edge. And I told them this just now, and I don't think this is like a secret, so I'm comfortable sharing this. But our success this season since January has been based on our defensive disposition and our ability to defend as a team, and our individual pride on the ball, and our individual pride in doing your job with whatever it may require, a low man, a box out, a gang rebound, whatever it may require. That's going to determine our success for the next 3 weeks, and that's going to determine our success if we are able to secure a postseason berth.
With Rui missing almost 4 weeks and LeBron missing 2, whenever they got back, and you acknowledged that there just wasn't any
both
space.
Those guys were out of rhythm and out of sorts.
Right, so you knew whenever that's going to happen, like there'd probably be some adjustment period. Is it better to almost have it happen, and obviously you should have your team's attention now after everyone should recognize like we're kind of building from ground zero here, and
I think that's a good way to look at it. The ground zero part. I think you have to again use the reference points that we've had, but then you have to this next 12 games you got to refine your way. It's a perpetually flowing river that we've all of a sudden run into a beaver's work. We've run into a beaver's work, and we're to get the water flowing again.
All right. That is JJ Redick on the Lakers loss. Got a chance to catch up on some of the comments, so that worked out perfect. I can just stare at everyone upset, angry, yelling at each other. People for some reason churn on each other. When Lakers win, everyone's singing Kumbaya, and they're, hey, no, let me get that for you. They're holding the door open for each other, People leave the door unlocked. People just kind of walking in and out. Hey, I ran out of milk. You mind if I grab some milk? Sure, come on in. Then when the Lakers lose, nobody looks at their neighbors anymore. Everybody's cursing each other, pulling out of the driveway, saying F you. We're at 6:30 in the morning. Like, what the hell happened here? Relax here for a second. I probably don't help. Yeah, I probably don't help. That's probably it. I'm with you guys on that. I'm probably not helping this situation. All right, let me read. Look, RJ, no milk for you. No milk. You know what I mean? If they win, it's like, hey, listen, hey, made some lasagna. I got some lasagna left over. Come on in. Bring the family. Lakers lose. You lock the door. You close the blinds. You turn the lights off. You're like, if the neighbor even comes here for a second. All right, let's get into some of these comments here. Let's keep going here. But can I be honest with you? They got their asses kicked. So anybody that wants to just demolish the Lakers tonight, feel free. The floor is yours. I mean, I'm not one that's going to stop anybody. I'm not helping the situations. Mitch Potter, turnovers are a problem, but I'm most confused about rotation. No reason for Gabe to have 20 minutes when Vando had 11, DK had just 6, and Koloko 0. Okay, let me explain something to everybody here real quick. And Mitch, I appreciate you chiming in. Here's what JJ now is going to have to figure out. Whoever he was playing before, there's got to be adjustments. He can't play 11 guys. He's not going to play 11 guys. That's not going to happen. He's going to give Rui minutes just because Rui was a starter, and I think probably will either work his way back into the starting lineup once he's ready. I know he's on a minutes restriction right now, or they'll keep DFS in there. I'm not sure what's going to happen. All right, so we'll kind of let that play out. Obviously, LeBron's going to get his minutes. Let me just look to see. I want to see how many minutes LeBron got, how many minutes Rui got. So LeBron played 31. So instantly, LeBron is back to getting his regular minutes. And Rui, I think, is on a 20-minute restriction. He had 18 minutes. I don't disagree on the Dalton Connect piece of this. You know what I'd hate to see for Dalton Connect is the guy go from having some positive games, kind of having a little bit of impact for the Lakers. Obviously a pure shooter, and there really isn't that many pure shooters on the Lakers. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that Dalton Connect's averaging 25 a night. But before this game, he had a 13-point game, had a 12-point game, had a 17-point game. So he had a couple games where he was doing okay. And again, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you guys that he's the next Ray Allen, but just to not have him in the rotation at all right, I wish he would have found a way to have him play. But this is going to be, whether you like this or not, JJ Redick's going to have to figure out, okay, how am I playing these guys and playing them at the right time and using them at the right time? How am I playing? I'm talking just role players. Take Austin Reaves, take Luca, and take LeBron out of the mix. They're going to get their minutes. How do I get Vando, Gabe, Rui, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes? I'm already now at 8. Those guys are going to get minutes. Then the question is going to be, do I need another big? Do I need Koloko? Do I need Trey Jameson III? Do I need Dalton Connect? What am I going to do with Jordan Goodwin? You can't play 13 guys. It's just not how the league works. So there's going to be a little bit of trial and error for JJ Redick. There's going to be a little bit of just, naturally, it's going to take a second for him to figure everything out. The bottom line with tonight's game is Lakers just came out thinking they're going to hang out. They're going to come on a Saturday night. Everybody's back. The Chicago Bulls, they're going to struggle, and the Lakers just get to walk in, drink some lemonade, enjoy the day, kiss a couple babies, couple autographs, and they were going to go home with a W. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the best way that I can sum up this game. You don't give up 146 points in the NBA unless your mind is in a completely different world. And for the Lakers tonight, they were in a different world, because the compliment that we've been throwing to the Lakers for most of this season has been about how they play, how hard they play. Not tonight. Tonight wasn't that. They got their asses kicked. In every aspect of the game, they got their asses kicked. Let me see if I could grab Austin here real quick. Just a couple here from Austin Reaves, if we can catch him in
time to build that chemistry or continuity.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is we have 12 games left till the playoffs, and it's not like we can add a couple games to continue to try to, piece all of that together. So we got to figure it out in a quick span of time to when the playoffs is here to hit the ground running. So, I believe we can do it. We've shown in instances where we have done it. Just got to, continue plugging at it.
Are there ways that, you're probably not going to practice a lot, maybe not as many sure. I know you guys have, but there are ways you guys can fast track that, considering there are only so many games and not a lot of practice time.
Talk to one another. That's really, we can watch as much film as we want to watch to help that way. But I think communication amongst, everybody on the team, coaching staff is going to play a big role in that. Like you said, we're not going to be on court practicing that much with 12 games left. So we have to communicate if it's, on flights, talking about, what we can do to be better. That's what it'll be. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Stop that right there. Yeah, basically, what has made the Lakers what they've been this year is they got this toughness to them, gritty to them. At least, this it actually has been a little bit of most of the season, but especially since the trade deadline, they play defense, they play hard. They don't give away easy buckets. You got to earn everything. None of that tonight. All right, let's get some more in here. Mitch, thank you for the super. AR. Slee, worst game of the season, hands down. What is their excuse? Oh, yes, we are missing Maxi Kleba. Pathetic, just awful. JJ is pissed, so the Laker fans, sorry, brother, or so are the Laker fans. Sorry, brother, I have to say it. AR, you speak your mind. You know, I'm going to say this to AR, and it was a sentiment that a lot of people had in the chat that I was reading before when JJ was talking. You know what a lot of people are upset about? That he didn't play anybody on Thursday. I mean, if the idea and the concept on Thursday was we're going to rest all our guys, 6 games in 8 nights, you know what? We'll take an L against Milwaukee, is what it is. We'll come back ready to go on Saturday. Everyone will be back. Everyone will show up to work. There'll be this kind of rejuvenated energy for this game. Somebody had it in the comments. AR, I'll come back to you in just a second. Let me see if I start it. Somebody was talking about right here. Basketball gods punished us for sitting key players in the last game. Don't mess with the basketball gods. Don't mess with them. Basketball gods gave this team a big dose of karma for sitting our starters last game. Damn. Don't mess with the basketball gods. It's funny. I started the show last post game I did, which was on Thursday after Lakers played Milwaukee. And I remember the start of the Bucks game. I'm like, they're sitting everyone? Like, are you not even trying to win this game at all? Like, there's no interest in winning this game? Seems like a big game to me. You just kind of got a free break because Denver didn't play their guys. You know, Jokic was out, Jamal Murray was out. Go look at the NBA standings, how important all these games are. I mean, if you're going to sit everyone on Thursday and you're going to follow that up with giving up 146 points on Saturday against Chicago, something's wrong there. Something's wrong there. So, AR, thank you again, brother. I do appreciate I appreciate your super here. So thank you very much for doing that. And there is no excuse. You say, what is the excuse? There isn't any. Let's get another one into these here. Laker EB82. This is the exact reason why you don't throw games away like they did on Thursday. You now lose a game you should have won. I think dreams of the 2 seed are done. Terrible loss. You know what's funny? I guess this kind of threw me off a little bit. I didn't know this many people were going to bring up Thursday's game. I really didn't. That's kind of interesting. I thought, most people just kind of thought, okay, it is what it is. I thought I was a little bit more on an island, saying to myself, all right, you know what, but they played 6 of 8. Okay, you know what, then they're going to do it. But it's just kind of sticking in there. It's like, you're not going to play anybody? Anyways, if you're going to do that on Thursday, obviously you got to follow that up with a good win tonight. And I think tonight, the problem was I think the bad taste in everybody's mouth is you never really fought. You were down the entire game. You're playing at home. Rui and LeBron are back. You got Luca, who's dropping 29 and what do you have, 8 threes or something like that? 7, maybe even 7 in the first half, something along those lines. And you were down by 34 against a play-in team. And by the way, and I don't watch Chicago Bulls basketball, so I don't know how good they are. I know they've been winning more recent, but they put an ass kicking on the Lakers. Let's see Chicago. I know they just handled the Sacramento Kings or something like that. But I was pointing this out yesterday, and I was a little surprised when I was looking at their schedule. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? They got some wins here. They do. They beat the Heat. No, they beat the Magic, the Heat, the Pacers, the Nets, lost to the Rockets, beat the Jazz, lost to the Suns, beat the Kings, and beat the Lakers. That loss to the Rockets was only by 3. Loss to the Suns was only by 6. So pretty impressive on this road trip. And they handed it to the Lakers tonight. All right, let's get some more of your comments here. Thank you for the super, brother. Appreciate you guys all with the supers. John Wayne, but Braun's 10-point streak is good. Okay. What does that have to do? Braun was not the only one that lost the game tonight. They had a lot of people that lost that game tonight. John, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate you there. Sliwa, what was that? 21 turnovers. Awful. Awful. Just awful. The whole thing was bad. All right, let me get to some of these let's get to some of the latest lives that we have right now. LeBron was a minus 27. Trade him. He's done nothing in his career. All right, let's get so basically, if you're putting in comments right now, I'm going to focus on just these ones that are coming in. Lakers got smacked. Move on to the next game, the end. Have a nice night. Let the cockroaches have their night. The hell's going on? What do you mean cockroaches? I played for coaches who screamed and yelled. I didn't like it either, but like my name says, my friend, you have to move with no ego. All right, I'm coming in too late to some of these. Chicago's been winning. Look at their record. Yeah, but okay. Give them credit. They scored 146 on the Lakers and blew the Lakers out at home with everybody healthy. Let's put it this way. You got championship aspirations. That ain't going to get it done.
And we gave them threes. So, we can't give everything for sure.
What's the best way to approach this as a group? The spot you're in, you guys got pretty much everybody back, but obviously coming off a rough loss, and there's still 12 big games remaining before the playoffs.
Sure. Every game is huge for sure, and we got to recoup. Obviously, our last road trip we didn't play, well at all. We went 0-4, so it's definitely in the back of our minds. We know so now on Monday we got to play better basketball than we did tonight and what we did on our last road trip.
Do you feel confident that the groin injury is behind you?
I just take day by day. I can't worry about, what's to happen in the future. But I got through the day. I'm obviously, get some work on it tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit on the plane. It's a long flight to Orlando, and then once we get to Orlando and get ready for Monday. So it's I hope it's behind, but I don't want to look too far in the future.
LeBron, one of the things JJ told us was that culture in the locker room is the type of thing that needs to be constantly rewatered. And you guys have built a culture based on toughness and defense and physicality. That wasn't there tonight. What does it take to rewater that?
It happens from time to time. Obviously, we got to do a better job, and we will see these guys next week. So we should be well equipped to what they bring to the table and the speed and the flow that they play with. So we just got to regroup and be better, a lot better on Monday for sure.
Kind of along those lines, you always talk about not getting too high or too low, and JJ just mentioned the team having grace for one another. What do you say to guys so that they can find that grace or maintain that grace?
For sure. Obviously, we can't take for granted the moments we get out there and be able to play the game that we love and play it at a high level. So just holding each other accountable, pouring into the team, pouring energy into the team. So that's what's most important. And like you said, we got 12 games to position ourselves, in the postseason. We pretty much can control our own destiny if we win ball games and not have to be in the play-in. So that's what JJ's been preaching. Obviously, I think he told that to you guys. You want to be in the playoffs and not the play-in. So, and that's up to us.
Well, what did the group show you while you were out, and to what extent can any of that apply to future games?
We have I don't know if it was something they showed me or didn't show me. I already know what this team is capable of. No matter who's been in the lineup, who's been out of lineup, we've been able to sustain our effort and try to, continue to play the right way, both offensively and defensively. So, it was great to see even through the adversity, even through some of the, the injuries and the schedule, however it presented itself, we were still able to win ball games.
Since we spoke to you in Boston, there was another pretty big round of media scrutiny about Bronny, and he went out and played his best game as a pro on Thursday. What have the conversations been with him through this kind of past few weeks, and what did you kind of make of the way he was able to play against the Bucks?
Conversations this past few weeks, as far as what?
Just about I guess this another batch of scrutiny. Do you even need to talk about it, or has he been dealing with it for so long?
Yeah, he's grew up in it, so it's nothing new to him. He's I think you saw the article that came out that he did, that he wanted to do and express his feelings about everything, but the kid is focused and he locks in on his craft. Like he said, he hears everything and he uses it as motivation. And but he's here for a reason, and he showed that the other night.
Do you see him playing with more confidence?
I've seen he's gotten better from the moment he made his first game back after the incident with USC to the moment the other night when he stepped on the floor. He's gotten better and better and better. And I think his confidence has gotten better. The work that he's putting in. he's starting to feel it once again before he had the incident. So it was great to see him in his groove the other day.
Thanks.
All right, stop right there. Keep things rolling here. I got a comment here that I think is interesting. The defense is a fugazi. Okay, well, a couple things here. You heard Bron talking about how the goal is with this Lakers team, part of the goal, right? Part of the goal is make sure you're out of the playing tournament. And there have been a few people on here that have said, Slee, they're going to end up in the playing tournament. They said that when LeBron got injured because we didn't know how much time that he's going to be out for. I've been one that's like they're not going to end up in the playing tournament. That's not going to happen. The only thing that I will tell you, as this loss was happening, I started looking at the standings and I'm like, all right, it's getting a little tighter than I thought it was going to be. Now it's still bunched together, but getting a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be. Let me show you guys here. We can look at it together. This is much, I think, a little too close for comfort. So let's just look at the West here real quick. Here's where the Lakers are sitting. These last couple of losses certainly not helping them. Houston now all of a sudden has got a 2-game cushion on Denver and a 2-game cushion on the Lakers. Houston may very well end up being the team that grabs that number 2 spot. All right, we'll see what eventually happens. But look at them. They've won 9 in a row and 9 of their last 10. Denver's 5-5 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row. Lakers lost 2 in a row. They're 4-6 in their last 10. 27 losses. Memphis with 28 losses. They've lost 3 in a row. Look at 3, 4, and 5 are all just kind of hovering right now. None of these teams are looking all that good right now. Golden State, without Steph Curry, obviously they've struggled a little bit as well, but 27 losses is where the Lakers are. 30 losses is where the Warriors are. 30 losses is where the Clippers are. 31 losses is where Minnesota is. The point that I'm trying to make here is they go on, another one of these losing streaks here. They're not in a good spot. So I will just kind of sit back and say, I at no point have thought they're going to be in the playing tournament. I still don't think they're going to be in the playing tournament. But you come back from this road trip 1-3, 2-2, depending on what other teams do. You finish your last 12 games 6-6. I don't know what other teams are going to do in that process. So they really, really have to be a little bit more cautious from that perspective. And that's the one thing that I will say for those that have kind of cautioned the playing tournament. I have not. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue moving forward. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's get some more comments here. Luca is allergic to the refs. He did have a moment there. He did have a moment there where it was basically it was a lot of complaining. He had a stretch there. Well, where he let the referees know that he wasn't that happy. Luca was at it with the refs again, so irritating. Yeah, I'm going to just tell you guys, and this is just a personal preference. I hate when players bitch and complain too much to the referees. And in Luca's case, I mean, Luca was cooking in that first half. I mean, he really was. He was playing phenomenal. He was the only one that was hitting shots. In Luca's case, I don't think it always helps him with the referees when he's so worried about the refereeing. But, yeah, he had a moment of that. Jackson Hayes has come back down to earth. Yeah, the way Jackson Hayes is going to play well, honestly, it's just going to come down to who's setting him up. Lakers need every game. Kobe White is legit. League got put on notice. Every time I've seen Kobe White, he's a solid player. And Chicago's got some solid young players. I'm not taking anything away from them, but should they really be beating the Lakers? Should they really be dropping 146 on the Lakers on the third, fourth best team in the Western Conference. Is that supposed to be happening? Obviously not. At home, Lakers, by the way, had won 9 games in a row at home. Now they've lost two in a row at home. Okay, let me look here. I want to look at a couple other comments. I got some supers here that I got to get to that I haven't got to. Let's see what we got. Beast mode, I think I got to that one already. Why is DK in the doghouse? I don't know if he's in the doghouse. I think they're just trying to figure out some stuff. But, yeah, I'd like to see Dalton Connect keep getting some opportunities. I really would. LA expected an easy one tonight and got smacked. Move on to Sunday. So their next game, I'll get into their schedule because they're going to go on a 4-game road trip. So we'll do that in just a second. So give me a quick second on that one, but I'll do that before we get out of here. It's going to be a very important road trip. John Wayne, a perpetual flowing river. Give them grace. We knew this was going to happen. Why even show up? JJ, the excuses for this flawed team are unbelievable. Now, let's not lose perspective here. Let's not lose perspective because they're still 43-27, 16 games over 500, and still right in the thick of the Western Conference where they want to be. I'm not justifying the loss, but I'm just saying if this road trip coming up is a really bad road trip, they continue to struggle, the defense is not there, they're giving up a lot of points. Maybe Chicago discovered something that other teams are going to start copying, to copycat league. Then it's a different conversation. But I'm not ready to, start looking at JJ Redick and say, well, this guy is not the right coach, or, this Lakers team is incredibly disappointing. They were disappointing tonight. I don't think they've been disappointing this season. John, appreciate the super there. I got one more here from John. Super. When will the blind witness realize their defense is a mirage? They collapse in the paint to make up for their lack of size and give up threes. If the opposing team can make open threes, they are done. Okay, couple things on that. Let's talk about it. Earlier in the week, I had Amin Al-Hassan on Thursday. And one of the reasons why Amin Al-Hassan is not as sold on the Lakers as other people might be is because the size and the defense. So Amin was talking about on the show, I don't think they're getting past the second round. That's what Amin was saying. Basically saying if they ran into Denver or if they ran into I'm going to get Luca going here real quick. Or if they ran to OKC, they would lose. I'll come back to this.
That first game's always tough, I can tell. But they made a bunch of shots, man.
Yeah, what do you think wasn't there defensively tonight that you guys have to get back as you go on this road trip?
I think they scored a lot of transition points, especially of my turnovers. So got to do that better. And so I can't be losing the ball 7 times. That's way too many for me.
Luca, how do you view the spot the team's in right now? You're almost fully healthy, 12 games left. It's there for the taking if you play well in terms of seeding in the West. But if you don't, you could fall into the play. And just kind of how do you view this moment for you guys?
Well, I think we're in a great spot. Obviously, today wasn't a good game for us, but I think we're in a great spot, and we gotta battle every game, to try not to get in the play-in and try to get the highest seed we can.
JJ acknowledged both pregame and postgame that the greatest part of it is going to take time to rebuild that continuity and chemistry. Are there ways, I'm not sure how much you guys are going to practice in these last 12 games, but I would imagine not many times or get much work together on the court outside of games. Are there ways you can fast track that chemistry, fast track that continuity?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think we're going to practice a lot. Tomorrow we have a 6-hour flight, so I don't think that's an option. But, I think just playing the game and viewing the game together, honestly, I don't know how. But I think when we're all together before the injuries, we're doing great stuff.
All right, let's keep rolling here. We got a lot more to kind of get into, and I want to keep reading some of these comments here. So Luca talking about obviously the road trip coming up, and the main thing I'll take away from this, and he said that he feels like the Lakers are in a great position. Lakers didn't all of a sudden become a bad team tonight. They did. They had a bad game. They were shitty. Let's not hide it or anything like that. But I'll go back to what I was saying. The reason why Amin Al-Hassan was saying what he said his concerns with the Lakers are defense and giving up threes. Defense and giving up threes. When Lakers were about to play the Denver Nuggets, Michael Malone was talking about how the biggest surprise to him since the trade is how good the Lakers defense is, the way they're playing, the style they're playing. They pack the paint. You're right. They're baiting teams to shoot threes. If a squad out there, and this is not going to happen in every game, so don't take tonight's loss against the Chicago Bulls. This is how every team's going to play against the Lakers. And I don't have any justification for this, but if a squad's going to shoot 58% from the field and 46% from the three-point line, you're going to get your ass kicked. And that's what happened to Chicago. And it's not all Chicago's credit. It's also the Lakers' fault. But I also did watch the game. The Lakers play a number of different teams, solid teams, teams above 500, and they were beating them. So they're not the great. You don't crown them a championship when they play well, and you don't say the season is over when they have a bad game. That's how I look at it. John, thank you for the super. Appreciate it. All right. Still a couple things I want to do here before we get out of here. I want to preview the road trip coming up, the next game coming up against the Orlando Magic. We're going to do that. And also I want to spend some time reading more of everybody's comments here. I know we got a lot of comments that are still coming in. Before we do so, I do want to give a shout out to our partner here. Give a shout out to the Wallace firm, who's a proud partner of the post-game show, the Sliwa show. Shout out to Brad Wallace and his team. If you or someone close to you has been seriously injured or is dealing with the loss of a loved one, you should find out what legal options you have, because you deserve the absolute best in the business, and that's Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Just to give everyone kind of a quick idea here, I put a URL, wallacewins.com/Sliwa, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. If you find yourself in a position, a spot, or a family member where, like I said, you've been seriously injured, a family member has been seriously injured, or you're dealing with the loss of a loved one, you got to find out what legal options that you have. Insurance companies that are out there, they're just going to try to settle. They don't want any of this stuff. And guys like Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm, they make sure that they maximize case results, and that certainly comes with what he does on a day-to-day basis. I hope you're never in this position. I hope you're never in this spot. I'm sure it's a very intimidating and daunting process. You got to let an expert help you, and he can help anybody in the entire state of California. If you run into this, wallacewins.com/Sliwa, or if you want to send me a personal email, I can make an introduction to Brad Wallace and his team. So shout out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Shout out to them being a partner. And I'm sure he's at home right now, probably with a burner on this chat, upset at the Lakers as well. Everybody's upset. Everybody's heated right now. Okay, let me look at a couple more comments here, and then I want to preview what the Lakers got coming up this upcoming week, and then the game against Orlando. HH, thank you. Appreciate it very much. Anybody that's throwing a super in here, thank you very much. I'm looking at all of them. Thank you very much for doing it. Appreciate you all doing it. So love for doing that. Let's get a couple of these lives in here real quick, and then we'll spend a little bit of time. Most of the chat needs Wallace to sue for emotional distress. Yep. Mostly when the phone review lose players. All right, let's see. All right, here's one. Not mad at all. Orlando won the last game. Let's see. Okay, so now everybody just wants to use the Wallace firm to help get W's. I don't know what's going on here. They're in. I just checked the stats. Chicago's third in three-pointers made this year. Oh, no, listen, Chicago's much better than I ever thought. I had no idea Chicago was playing like this. All right, let's take a look at what the Lakers got coming up. Here are the next 4 games for the Lakers. This upcoming week, they got 4 games. So this will be interesting. 12 games left to go. By the time, this week's done, you're down to 8. You're going to have – they still have – this is actually kind of interesting. 8 of their final 12 games on the road. 8 of their final 12 on the road. Okay. Orlando coming up on Monday. Here's where Orlando's sitting. 33-38, 8th in the Eastern Conference. Basically, them and Chicago almost identical in the sense of their records. Chicago's 31-40, Orlando's 33-38, so they got a 2-game cushion. Orlando, just to kind of point out their last 5-6 games or so, beat Milwaukee, lost to the Rockets, beat New Orleans, lost to Minnesota, beat Cleveland, lost to Houston, beat Washington. If this goes as planned, they'll get an L against the Lakers. Their win-lose last 6 games or so. Let's keep that thing going. But they are back. They got their guys back. You know, the problem with Orlando, they hit a ton of injuries. There was actually a point there where you thought maybe Orlando can make some noise in the Eastern Conference. They had a ton of injuries. Paulo Banchero is back. Franz Wagner obviously is there. Wendell Carter Jr., Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Jonathan Isaac. So they got some of these guys back. So the game on Monday, I got to be honest with everybody. This starts becoming, Jalen Suggs, I know, is out, or at least has been out. He's out for the remainder of the season. Mo Wagner is out as well, Franz Wagner's brother. The one thing I will say, and I've kind of done this before, kind of some non-negotiable games. I thought tonight was kind of a non-negotiable game. Then what does Monday become? You can't be on a 3-game losing streak against Milwaukee, Chicago, and Orlando at this stage of the season. Monday feels like it becomes very critical. Okay, who do they have after that? A 41-29 Indiana Pacer team coming up on Wednesday. Then you're at Chicago again on Thursday, who just whooped your ass. And then on Saturday, you close out the week at Memphis, who's been up and down, injuries. Jaren Jackson Jr. was out. I know Ja's out, but Jaren Jackson came back. I don't think John Morant played in the last one, so I'm not 100% sure who'll be available for them. Feels like a critical week for the Lakers. Feels like you can't be, screwing around tonight or screwing around this upcoming week. It's not exactly a clean slate here. It's not exactly a nice schedule in front of them. I've said this before, and I'll see it tonight. They do a really good job. There's who does this? The strength of schedule that Tankathon, that's what it is. Tankathon puts this out. Where are the Lakers now? Strength of schedule. Still the third toughest schedule left in the NBA. Third toughest schedule left in the NBA is it's Phoenix, Utah, and the Lakers are the 3 toughest schedules remaining in the NBA. None of these are going to be gimmies. Lakers got some tough ones coming up. No question about it. They got some tough games coming up. An Orlando team that is playing for something and has talent. They have talent. And they've already beat you this year. You got a Pacers team that's sitting top 4 in the Eastern Conference, and they're trying to fight off Milwaukee and stay in that number 4 seed so that they could have home court in that first round against Milwaukee. You got a Bulls team that just playing better basketball, and you saw what they just did. You got Memphis, who's been struggling, but they'll get up for the Lakers. So it's going to be an interesting week for the Lake Show. No question about that. An interesting week for the Lake Show. All right, let's take a look at a few more comments here, and then we're going to call it a night. I got to that one. HH, thank you again for the super brother. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. If it makes everyone feel better, it was all my fault. I didn't wear my lucky Lakers socks. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say it. I wanted you to be respectful, and I wanted you to admit that this is your fault. I'm glad you finally did it. The problem is it took you 49 minutes to do it. Indiana will be a tricky one. It's going to be a tough game. That's going to be that's the first of the back-to-back, and then you got the Bulls game coming up after that. Sliwa, now you're sounding like me. About the games, you might be right. I know you're the one that said that they're in danger of falling into that plane. Slee, did they peak too soon? No, listen, I still think they got a solid squad and a good team. I think they just This should be a good wake-up call for them. Maybe a good challenge for them. You know what I expect? I expect them to come out on Monday against Orlando and handle business. If they don't, then maybe there's some concern there. Maybe there's some concern there. All right, a couple more and then we're done. Kobe White did a De'Aaron Fox on us. I guess you were right, Slee. Load management is an issue. Well, Magic said that one. I guess I'm just agreeing in a sense. Okay, couple quick announcements here, and then we're going to get out of here. If you're not a member yet, what are you waiting for? Come be a member. Come be an MVP member. Be a part of the Slee Was Show and Hoops Talk. Be an MVP member. I probably did a 30-minute video yesterday with just members. It was cool. By the way, I just put a link in here. If you want to become a member, there's a link right there for you. It's $3 a month. We'll greatly appreciate if you become a member. I did a video yesterday about 30 minutes. Basically, here's what the members told me. They helped me out with some topics for this upcoming week. We talked about having more guests on that maybe are a little bit different of the narrative, like I did with Amin Al-Hassan. They wanted me to go get a Memphis Grizzlies beat writer for this upcoming Friday, so I'm working on that. And then they also mentioned try to get Tim Legler on the show. There's some other guests that they mentioned as well. Members are helping create the show. So I think there's value in that. I hope you guys see some value in that. Or if you just want to do it just because you want to support the channel, I would appreciate it. I am back on Monday morning at 8 a.m. So let's get back at this on Monday morning. Maybe we'll see. Maybe something tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. I know that Sammy's going to be putting out a preview video at some point tomorrow as well. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. 52 minutes tonight. Lakers get their asses kicked. Let's go enjoy our Sunday and the rest of our Saturday night, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your evening.